Welcome to another edition of Friday at 420. I'm Mike Neighbors, the ambassador of funny. It's great that you could be with us. And as usual, we have lined up our round table of comedians with a special guest this time. An interesting special guest, yes. I'd love you to say hi to one of our panelists every time we play this show, Mr. Patrick Coppolino.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, Patrick. Buongiorno. And Manola Santanos.
Buongiorno, Ticanis.
Buongiorno, Ticanis. Yes. Ticanese is the language of love?
Yes, it's only love.
It's all love in the Greek culture. And this week, a special guest, not a stand-up comedian, but a very funny lady in her own right. And she has been working in our area for a very long time, doing amazing things, and we'd like to explore that a little bit today. I got a woo-woo for that, did I, Charlotte?
No, you're going to get a Bon Jovi for that one.
Bon Jovi! Charlotte Charlotte Szivak is with us. Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. Great to be here with you clowns.
Wait, yeah, well, we got two clowns, and how would you describe yourself? When people say, oh, what do you do?
Well,
you do.
That depends where we are, how much you've had to drink, and how much...
You've got a whole pamphlet of things you do.
It's pretty multidimensional.
What is the primary description, if you could?
I am psychic till about 9 o'clock and psycho after that.
Okay, excellent. That's a nice combination, eh?
You get psycho from everybody, after.
A little bit of both going on.
But I'm a psychic. I'm what they call as an oracle, and I'm a healer. So what happens is I tune in, I get the information of what's going on around people, career, money, health, love, work. And because I'm also a healer, I can also see through. I have X-ray vision.
Wow.
Not X-rated, by the way.
X-ray.
And,
like through clothes, or?
Well, that's what X-ray is, yeah.
Manolis now is really interested.
Yeah, I bet. So, they'll be more interesting because I actually used to write for an erotica magazine, too, about how the healing effects of sex as well, too. So, yeah, I'm sure that'll get... Now I have your full attention.
Do you?
Yes, Manolis is standing at attention. Charlotte, it's great that you've decided to join us. Now, Patrick, it was actually you who decided that this would be a nice surprise. Why would you want Charlotte to be Manolis' surprise guest this week?
Because he loves hearing about his future, and I think he needs a little hope. I think
he needs a little boost of confidence.
Yeah, but I'm worried though. If my future is the way I think it's going to be, there's going to be no hope.
He's going to leave more depressed than he came in.
It'll be entertaining either way.
Charlotte, what is the message? I think primarily in your line of work is to give people hope.
Yeah, and love.
Yeah.
Right, it comes down to love. But the other thing, too, is we all go through crap, and we just have to know how to deal with it. So people come to me, too, because I know how to deal with that part of it, which is the shadow, our wounds, our emotional garbage that we're not dealing with or suppress, or we just basically shove it in the corner or whatever, right, or under the carpet. Yeah. So I unleash it. Okay. And then what I like to do is I like to transform the energy, but I do it in a funny way because people then actually listen to you, and they actually deal with their crap.
Yeah.
So this way it's more, when you do it in an entertaining way, you show them what they want, but you give them what they need.
When you look at Manolis, can you see through all the shadows? I'm guessing he's blocked.
I'm wondering you're going to need to do some edits here in a minute.
Where would you start if I was coming to see you? If Manolis or Patrick were coming to see you, where would you begin?
I might run for the hills when I saw you guys coming. So. No, I'm just kidding. I can see I got my work cut out for me.
Yeah.
So it's usually what I do when you come for a session. I would actually start off with tea leaves and tarot, but we're not doing that here. So I'm just basically sitting and tuning in. So what I did was before we started, I started with asking about your birthday because then that helps me to hone in immediately.
Okay.
But I don't actually need anything to read you. It's just, I was trying to be more impressive.
Oh, so. Excellent. So we divulged Manolis' birthday, which was July 21st.
July 21st.
July 21st. You don't need the year.
No. You don't need to embarrass yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. July 21st, and Manolis' limited knowledge of the zodiac sign is that he's on the cusp of something. The cusp of greatness, we're not sure. But he is on the cusp of Leo, right? He's a Cancer on the cusp of Leo.
Cancer with Leo, yeah.
So what does that tell you right away?
A whole hell of a lot of drama.
Oh. Did you say are you a dramatic person?
I'm probably a dramatic person. I end up dealing with a lot of drama. I think I don't think I like to pretend I'm not looking for it, but I'm always seem to be dealing with
Caught in the
it.
middle of
Why
it.
is
Total
that?
chaos.
Yeah. So does he attract drama? Or?
Oh, yeah. That means it's a reflection of what's going on the inside. So, and energetically, what I do is I first tune in and I see the aura, and your aura is actually closed down. So it's shut down, right? So you're trying to overprotect yourself, probably because you're scared right now. You're scared of me, but...
What, was it
No, I wouldn't say scared of you, but
Scared of what I'm gonna
I was
say.
just going to say, this is a comedy show. Manola's going to start crying, and I'm going to be in the corner in the fetal position. Manolis, why is your
wouldn't do that to
aura
you.
closed?
that was my question. Why is my aura closed?
That's usually related to fear. It usually has to do with the fact that you're overprocessing and you're turning inwards, which means that you're pretty mental. Not mental crazy, you just think too much, right? Overanalyze, contemplate, stress, worry, where, when.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need a lobotomy or tranquilizer some days, so...
Well, I find when I take Percocets, it seems to help a lot.
With a prescription.
Yeah, they're
always.
I prescribe them myself.
See, it's just learning how to stick to it. And the other thing, too, is you can be a little bitch because you're ruled by the moon, right? So you change every 2.5 days. So
Okay.
you're always like...
Am I moody? I'm
Well, that's what I meant by being a little bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Do you find that? I mean,
Well,
is
her
Charlotte
saying this,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's right. Yeah, but I find myself that because I think too much. I'm like, some days I'm like, what's wrong with me? Because some days I feel like really good, and other days I'm like just feel not horrible, but just.
So the reason I picked up on the aura thing is because you're actually an empath. It's known as what's called clairsentient, which means you feel, you absorb, and you take on. So you're actually a healer. So what's happening, the thing I pick up off of you right now is that your lymphatic system is pretty congested because energetically you've absorbed so much from your surroundings that you don't know how to transmute and transform the energy. So it gets stuck inside of you. And that's when you feel low. That's when you feel down. So that's why, like, if you're going to smoke weed, it'll actually depress you a bit more because what it's doing is it's reflecting some of the wounds that you're already dealing with or the emotions that you're holding in. So if you're in a happier space and you do that, then you're in a better space. But if you're in a more like, type of a space, then it actually brings you down. So. What?
Right. So how do I fix this? Because I understand exactly what
We
you're
need
saying.
a car wash for your soul.
So how do I do that? Okay, go.
Well, no, it's interesting, right? Because, I mean, Charlotte used a lot of big words there, but you got the meaning.
Big words.
I understand. I don't just understand what you're saying. I agree with
feel
it.
what you're saying.
I do. I think Pat can vouch for me. I'm just like I help too many people.
You're
and
a very sensitive guy, so that's
And I'm
why
very
you close down to try to protect yourself, and you use humor as a way to also transmute or release or let go of whatever energy you've absorbed or taken on from people. But that's also too because that's also sometimes can be your way of trying to ask for help. Trying to get someone to come and, either help you out or help to, give you also energy or direct you or give you some sort of faith in a line, because sometimes I feel like you're ready to just throw your hands up in the air and say, screw it. So
she's this chick's awesome. I always think I think about giving up all the time.
Yeah.
You're listening to Friday at 420. I'm Mike Neighbors. Manola Santanos and Patrick Coppolino, always our panelists here on Friday at 420. And our special guest is Charlotte Szivak, and you are helping...
Psychic.
Psychic.
We'll go with
She's
psychic.
a psychic. But that's very interesting. I mean, you've sort of tapped into Manolis. Now, I'm not a psychic, but I always have known, and I don't know Manolis really that well. I mean, we worked together on a few projects, but I know he's sensitive, and
He's like energetically.
he's just like a ball of feelings.
Yeah. You're like a woman. So
You good
without
thing
the
you
period.
said that. Yes.
Without the period. Well, you get that too, but but energetically too, your sign is a female sign. So that's why it makes you feel more, and that makes you want to be like with buddies, and like, you're probably more like a frat boy type of guy. You like to have your group of guys and buddies and stuff too when you go out and do stuff.
I like friends. I like being around good people.
Yeah, and codependent too. Cancers tend to be a bit codependent.
What's that word mean?
You always got to be with somebody. Can't always do it on
I'd
your
like
own.
to be. I don't.
You don't
I
do
don't
alone that well.
I'm alone more than I'd like to be.
Yeah.
Well, this is not a dating service now. Come on.
But what do I do? That's a
So we're I guess and that
So
comes
that's
in
the next step.
the healing part
Yeah.
that you do. Is you would help him start to, but I mean, it's not something, she can't just like speak a few words and break all this down. This is like years.
Yeah, it takes years of stuff.
But you're going to have to start to learn to slough off some other people's stuff, right?
Well, it's not even that. It's first of all learning how to get back your boundaries, your priorities, what works for you, what is your energy. I feel like you get confused with what's your energy and what's everybody else's energy. So we need to make sure that you get into alignment with who you are first. Because the minute you know who you are and what your energy is, then you set up your boundaries, and that's when you can start to elevate and really go for stuff, really go for what you need.
I get what you're saying. Well, how do I do that?
I'll show you.
Okay.
We just got to dissect it first so that you're like, oh, yeah, because then he's actually listening.
So,
but that's like people like Will Smith and like some of these huge like entertainers and sports guys. They all know this. They all know the key to elevating, the key to really hit it on the high notes is to deal with your shadow, deal with your pain, is to absorb and realign with that and connect with it, not run away from it. Because the more you run away from it, it just doesn't.
But it's funny, too, because, I mean, when we talk about the aura that he's created around himself.
And first of all, we should tell people what the aura are, because we didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
So it's the energy around your body. So if you don't have it, then you're dead. But
when you said
you're okay. You got a pulse.
His has been driven sort of by fear.
Yeah,
and
it's inverted.
And yet comedy is like one of the scariest things in the world to do, stand-up comedy, and yet he's chosen, sort of that avenue.
But it's also a way of seeking.
So vulnerable, right?
Yeah, vulnerable, but seeking a form of appreciation, a form of adulation, a form of love. Because how do you feel when you're on stage and you get like that rousing applause?
I feel amazing.
You're on a high.
I feel like comedies just keep me sane.
Right, yeah. That love and adulation keeps you sane.
Yeah,
but that's also energy. You're actually feeling the energy, and that's feeding you, so it helps you to grow. That's why rock stars, and that's why, because they invoke an emotion, that's why everybody's so connected when they hear a song, right? And they think of that, and what happens is they're actually sending energy to that person or that band because emotionally it's helped them through something or the words or whatever. So you're doing the same thing. You're making people laugh, and you're making them evolve. It's funny because I worked with Robin Williams a couple of times. I did a couple movies with him, and it was so interesting when I worked with him.
We have the same birthday.
That's really wild. He was all he cared about was trying to make people happy.
Right.
He never
worried about his own.
Focused on himself. Yeah. And I remember when I met him, I was working on that movie with him, the one where he becomes the president. And it was, I forget the name of it right now, but it was pretty hilarious. And it was one of the most amazing days I ever worked on set because he just gave it. He went out there and he did like a stage performance, and people I was looking after all the extras on that one, and everybody was freaking out. They wanted to give their paychecks back to him because they felt that they were taking money from him for actually being there. But I was in the backstage area because I had to run around and do whatever the hell I was doing. And I ran into him, and he was having a meeting with his producer and his manager and whatever. And he literally stopped it just so he could talk to me and make me smile. And I was like, dude, you got to think about yourself. Like he did not, he really was like a healer. He really was somebody who really cared, and he really just wanted to make you smile and make you laugh. And it was unbelievable how he forgot about himself. And we see that so many times, too, like with you guys, sports guys, healers, we all do it. We all go through it. So it's a matter of us also learning how to reclaim our power. And that's what you're trying to do. Right. You're reclaiming your power. You're just doing it the long way.
Are there some consistencies with Manolis that generalities you could say apply to a lot of comics, or do they all come from different?
Well, it's kind of funny because I don't know a lot of comics, and and that's the only one I really knew. So it's kind of funny. I would use him as an example, but it's just because I work with him. So
because you know so much about this, have you been able? Can you sort of keep yourself? Do you still get bummed up and stuff?
Yesterday I was losing it too. Yesterday because that moon was crazy. It was. The Pisces full moon, which is a very emotional moon. It made a lot of people depressed, and it made a lot of people very sad. Yesterday was a very moody day. And Pisces itself, because it's a water sign, it's a very healing sign. It's a very psychic sign. So anybody who's in tune already is going to feel everything and see like the images and the everything around them. But it's really interesting when you're not in alignment. You need to step back. And that sounds like what you need to do, too. You need to set a better boundary and learn how to say, I'm not available.
Yeah. I'm too...
He is available, though. All the ladies listening.
All the
He doesn't want to be alone anymore.
I have too much stuff that I always have to do.
What's funny, you're in the year of the Empress next year, so what's happening, that's or just turned into the Empress, so that means you're very pregnant with possibilities.
That's good. So
You may need to
I hope
triple
she's
bag
not
it.
pregnant.
So I should start up. I would say.
No, you don't have to abstain, but you're going to need to like triple bag it.
So you know what? I mean, this is, after all, it's very interesting. It's a comedy show, though, so we got to bring some jokes back to this thing. So let's do Patrick Coppolino. Let's do Patrick.
I think this is amazing.
I think it's very fascinating, isn't it? And I can see.
I do feel she's nailed everything perfectly.
And in Manolis's face, I can see that he's kind of like going, "Oh my, like this is."
And I
why,
do
why
feel,
does she know this?
And I do feel better about like what's coming down the chute, I guess, or whatever. Like,
right, you feel
there's
positive
something
about the
Oh,
energy.
yeah. Well, this summer was crazy. It made everybody nuts. We had a trinity of eclipses. Usually we only have 2. And we had 7 planets that were retrograde, which means they were backwards.
Right.
And that's insane. It makes everybody nuts, which means that we're basically going through a massive transformation where we're also we have to deal with our own crap. We have to actually look at it face to face now and not, step out of it. You can also have a lot of fun doing it, but this summer was a serious summer. So now, as all the planets are starting to go direct again, now that Mercury went direct last week, everyone's feeling more relaxed, but just really exhausted. You're going to see that things really start to move ahead with your career, with your life and everything. So we're in the better zone now.
So we had all that stuff going on. Plus, it was hot as hell all summer.
Oh my God, these 40-plus days were crazy.
They're cooking us.
Thought we were in hell.
So none of all the bad things none of it's my fault then.
It's always your fault.
No, you're saying it's the universe's fault.
It's like a projection, right? It's just like when you have a nightmare. It's and you're in the basement doing something. That's just something that you're reflecting. Don't worry, I'm not going to go Freud on you and talk about you sleeping with your mother. But
I watch those videos.
All right, Patrick Coppolino. Let's just take a little glance into the human being that is Patrick Coppolino. Not as easily to see his aura. He feels like he's got a closed off aura to me.
no, actually, it isn't.
It's wide open.
No, it's not wide open.
Oh, okay.
But it's not closed either.
It's not closed? No?
I felt more fear from Manolis than I did from Patrick. So it was.
Patrick's invincible, man.
I'm just dead inside.
You feel more. You feel more grounded. You feel more, and I keep seeing a lot of energy around your hands. So it's and you like creating with your hands. You like to do things.
Now
with your
Manolis is looking at your hands.
No, that's true. I love to cook, and
that's right. You cook.
I
Yeah.
edit with my hands.
Yeah, so that means
videos.
you're putting healing energy into the food that you're creating. So, because you're cooking with love, right?
Yeah.
So that really makes you can see the glow around the food of the energy that you're putting into it when you're cooking. You're moving into, when we did your birthday, it comes into the Wheel of Fortune. So it means that you need to take more risks this year, which is you have a very lucky year coming up. I would also suggest that maybe you should go to Vegas, buy a lotto ticket or something, because it's going to work out really well for you this year.
Okay.
And you feel like you got more projects on the go, because I see you like lists. I see that I see algorithms and mathematical equations popping out of your head. So you remind me of Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. You need to get all that stuff done. But what I'm hearing is that you don't always trust your intuition, yet you do, but you don't, but you do, but you don't. But you do.
I agree with that.
But you don't always.
Is she right on?
Yeah.
She got you? Yeah. She
awesome.
figured you out?
I would agree with
I
that.
figured you out.
There's a lot going on.
We're going to end up calling you like every day now.
I know. What do I do?
Help me, Charlotte.
I leave my house.
All right, you're listening to Friday at 420 on Funny 820. Charlotte Szivak is our guest. She's a psychic, and she does all kinds of other things. Just a couple of these quick things. We're going to get to our game. We're going to play.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Play our game a little bit and have some fun with some random topics, as we always do. But just before we get to that, I just want to ask quickly, and as briefly as possible,
Sure.
maybe give me a little sample of what these things are that you do. Because animal
You've never even
communication.
heard some of it.
You talk, so you can communicate, see the aura of animals.
Yep. Well, I talk to animals too. I can actually hear them. They're not like Mr. Ed where they're like,
Right.
And sometimes I'll go into the dog cafe on Lock Street, and then we'll do readings with the dogs. They're so hilarious.
that's cool.
And we had, I remember this little pug came in, and he was hilarious. Poor little guy. I didn't know what to do to help him. He just said, "I'm not an a-hole, I swear." It was so funny.
You can actually get like what they're saying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can hear them. So they're very like they have 3 ways of communicating. They can either send you a picture like a vision, or they can like you hear their voice, but you don't see their mouth doesn't move, or they do like an energetic imprint on you. It's really cool.
Manolis also said, "I'm not a hole, I swear." Right when you walk in,
you say, "I'm not a dog."
Yeah. Light body quantum activations.
So that's some major healing stuff I do.
So that's healing.
Where you go like, I can do light body stuff where I can go right in and reconfigure your sacred geometry and every organ and tissue right down to the subatomic particle level, reconfigure it so that you're actually in your optimum health space.
There were like 3 words there that Manolis
That was
understood.
wild.
Yes. He wants all of that done to him tonight.
Yeah, I'm down.
Take me to my subatomic level, baby. And spiritual intuitive readings, which is really what we were doing
Which is
here.
psychic, yeah.
Right.
It's just another way of saying psychic. But I'm not just the type of psychic that says, "Oh yeah, you should date this dude," or pick these numbers.
Or you're going to have a great job on the job.
Well, you got a
year.
sampling there. I'm a very deep psychic. I don't like that surface BS. I go right in there and I just,
And you also can help people's homes. Energetic home
I work
staging
with real estate agents too, where I'll go in and I'll clear buildings and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I've done so many things. I've been to the Parliament. I've been, I have so many. Like, I fly back and forth. I was at the Oscars this year too. I got invited to read all the nominees and all the presenters. And there's
who
like
was
parties.
The most interesting one? You don't have to tell us what it was. Just which of the nominees was the most interesting one? You were like,
well, he threw one hell of a party after, so I'd say that he was impressed with his reading. So I'll leave it at that.
CharlotteCivak.com. That's C-H-A-R. Well, you can spell Charlotte. Szivak is SZIVAK.com. If you'd like to look up Charlotte and the wonderful services she does, she'd be happy to help you out. That is awesome.
Sweet.
What do you say we play a little bit of our game?
Yeah.
You guys down?
Yeah.
Now that you're all freaking out over who you are as human beings.
Yeah, I have to say though, like our readings are completely different from each other, and they were like really spot on. I like that.
When you are both very different fellas.
Yeah,
Said
I don't know, but
said the guy who was complimenting Patrick. I'm just funning you, Manolis. He's sensitive now. Now I've upset him.
Poor Cancer.
Charlotte,
have to give you a crystal.
here's how.
Actually, I got one.
Oh, look at that! You're going to get a crystal.
I'll give you a citrine
Don't
because that'll
smoke
help you. It's not crystal meth. It's a different form of crystal.
I love
Here you
crystal.
go. Citrine. That'll help you with self-esteem, self-confidence. Keep it together.
Where do I put it?
Where do you want to put it?
Look at the size of it.
Yeah, rock size doesn't matter when it comes to rocks.
Unless it's the one on your finger. Kaboom.
I'm not that kind of girl.
Charlotte, here's how the game works. We spin the wheel. We have 12 random topics here, and then you can just start sharing with us any thoughts you have on that random topic. The others can join in, and we'll talk about it until we kind of feel like we've run out of breath.
Okay.
You want to give that wheel a spin? You want to spin it for her? There,
Oh, you want me to spin it?
Oh, yeah. Manolis can spin it for you, I'm sure. You trust. Oh, you're going to get up? Okay,
Yeah, I'll get up.
Get up and spin it yourself.
All right.
Spin it yourself,
Ready.
damn it.
All right.
Here we go. Spin that wheel.
It's the color of the chakras.
Number 10.
Number 10. Charlotte Szivak has picked number 10. Random topic number 10.
10.
If not, for these two guys,
Okay.
I will ask, if not a comedian, then what would you be? But for you, if not a psychic, what would you be?
A rock star.
Oh! Just like you knew that already.
Out of the gate.
Coming in. That would have been the dream gig?
Well, it wasn't actually a dream. I actually started towards it, and then I had a record deal, but it didn't work out.
It didn't work out?
No, because I want to do other things, right? Because I meant to do this, and then I want to do into being a Sanskrit singing the mantras. My voice is more for that than it is to be singing pop music and all that stuff.
You can sing the Sanskrit
Yeah, I have a
mantras?
3.5 octave voice, so yeah.
Okay.
So
wow.
it was meant to do other things, healing music with my voice instead of. Oh. Yeah.
Charlotte has set the bar high, fellas. If not a comedian, Manolis, what?
I want to say with a quick story because you're here. This is perfect. When I was 24, I went to this church called Ios Nectarios. It's on an island in Greece. Okay, famous old school priest. He's dead, but he's like. So me and my dad go on this tour. I'm 24 years old. We go to this bed. We pray. My dad says, "Pray for something." I'm like, "Okay." It's his bed that he used to sleep in. So I just thought, I'll pray for I'll just make a wish. So I said, I would like to be a rock star. And that's like, I thought, hey, just in case. Just in case this is a real thing and it works.
I have none of the skill sets, but just
yeah,
in case.
yeah. I'm thinking like I can't sing, I can't play music, but you know what? That's maybe what the hell, right? So then I go to bed that night. The people travel so far; they have places like they have 2 big rooms for people to stay. One for the girls, one for the guys. I'm in the guys' side with my dad. At 4 a.m, this guy walks in with this old guy. He's walking him in, and he's in pain. He's crunched over, his back sore, and he's like, "Oh, like this." And I say to myself, "I'm like, this is a test." I actually say this to myself.
Right.
I'm like, "Fine, I don't care." I say, "Ayos Nictarios." In my brain, I say, "Don't worry about what I wish for. Make this old man's pain go away." Oh, right. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I hear bang like this, and I see 3 green balls that are moving from my head to my feet back and forth all at the same time. And I knew I was awake, but I couldn't get up. And finally I broke out of it and I was like, and the old guy wasn't there. And I know it was real because I didn't go back to sleep that night.
Wow.
That is crazy.
That's really cool.
Eh?
Is it cool? What the hell is that?
It was healing. It was balls of energy. What color you said it was? Green? Green is healing. It's the healing color of energy, and it's coming from your heart.
He's a healer.
Yeah, he's a healer. You just need to learn how to embrace
it. And you gave up your dream to be a rock star because of it.
Yeah. Well, because the guy was in pain, dude.
I know, but that's that sense. That's all the things she was explaining. Yeah. You would rather someone else you'd suffer yourself instead of somebody else.
It was partly too, and I agree with that. But part of it was like, I'm like, oh, you think I'm afraid of like not being a rock star? You think I don't care? Make this guy's pain go away, and so I can get back to bed, dude.
That is awesome. What a great story.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So, back to the question: if not a comedian, what?
Well, I was gonna. I did at one point want to be a rock star, but
yeah, I think we all wanted to be a rock star at one point. I mean, Charlotte actually took steps towards it. The rest of us all thought, "Well, a rock star would be cool."
I ended up singing in a couple movies too. Like I got roles in some pretty big movies.
She went that way. But what, firefighter? I mean, just I
tried that too.
Yeah, I try to be. I like the idea of helping people, but. So I think any kind of like it would be cool, like maybe an ambulance driver or something like that.
Okay,
but like
they're called paramedics.
Paramedics, yeah. Maybe. But I would like, but I would more like, I just want to drive. I just want to drive it.
He doesn't want to help anyway. He just wants to drive.
I just want to drive this thing, dude. I like the idea of helping. Like I would like to be that with a cape, though. You know what I mean? Like I'd like it to be more. Like a superhero, so I'd like to be Superman. But I'm not going to be Superman. This isn't real, but if I could just
what
be like,
color would the cape be?
Would have to be green for healing.
I guess green. Blue's my favorite color, but we can green and blue. We can make it. You can design it.
We can make it.
You can design my outfit, but I want to be a paramedic. I don't know
if you want me to do that.
Paramedic, yeah, it's just a thong. Paramedic / superhero. I want to be a paramedic with a cape.
If I'm lying there,
I just want a cape.
If I'm lying there in pain and my ambulance driver gets out and it's Manolis wearing a cape, I'm going to say, please God, make him a rock star. Let me suffer.
Maybe he can serenade you while you're being carried on the gurney.
Patrick Coppolino, if not a comedian, what?
I don't know. I've always wanted to be a crooner. I know that'll never happen.
Oh, so not the rock star. You like the suave, the Frank Sinatras.
Yeah.
Nice.
In the shower, I am.
Can you croon pretty good?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on. I was going to say, give us a.
No, I got nothing.
What is a crooner?
A singer.
Yeah, like a jazz.
Think Michael Bublé.
Yeah. Frank Sinatra.
Fly me
That's
to
what I want.
the moon.
Yeah, there you go. See? Charlotte's could be a crooner.
Is it because your mom loves Michael Bublé?
Yeah, she does.
Okay, leave me alone.
My mom's like obsessed with Michael Bublé.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's she must have loved all the crooners.
So don't get into all the Freud stuff again.
I just want to do what my mama loves. You know what?
Just want to make mom happy.
If every man on the planet is being honest, that's all we. It's like as long as my mom's happy with me, we're all good.
Patrick's mom named him Patrick because
of Patrick Swayze.
No way.
Yeah.
Which movie?
Roadhouse.
Was she inspired? Okay. Nobody puts my baby in the corner is all she kept saying. We'll call him Patrick. All right. Manolo, let's give the wheel a spin. Let's take this thing to another level. We got a couple more minutes here on Friday at 4:20. Manolo Centaulos, Patrick Capolino, our special guest, Charlotte Szivak, number 11. I just opened number 1. I'm sorry. My bad.
Oops.
Yeah, let me get to 11 here. We wouldn't want to take them out of context. Here we go. Number 11. Family member that makes you the craziest.
Oh, God, my dad. My dad. You want to hear a message? I swear to God, my dad, I'm going to go to it right now, that left me yesterday, okay?
Oh, yeah, we got to hear this.
This is amazing.
Hold the speaker part right up to the microphone there if you can. We'll see if it works.
You don't have any new messages and 1 saved message.
Okay. You can hear it nice. Yeah, that's good.
Here's your first saved message.
Who's she? She sounds
But
sexy.
why? No one pick him up the phone because you know it's nothing. He leave everything and go away. Where you be now? You got a T-bone steak? Huh? I know like the Greek food. You like a T-bone steak. Okay. If you got a time, you like it, you phone him up. If you be with the kids. Another way, enjoy yourself. You got a girlfriend? Sleep there. Bye-bye. See you. Sometime next week, huh? Okay, bye.
He's mad. He made me food. He's like, I'm busy. I'm always moving.
It's hard to understand.
He say, well, where you be? I make your food. I make your food and you leave. I make where you have better food outside. I have T-boo steak. You go find T-boo steak. I have food here and you go outside and eat. Hey, why I cook for you? Eh? Oh, go if you see a girl, okay. But if you don't see a girl, come back and eat. Stuff like that. I saw him call me. I just hung up because I knew he was going to leave some crazy message.
Right.
But I knew he was going to be upset with me for the fact that I didn't eat the food that he made.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it. He just called me to yell at me for not eating his food. He's 90, by the way. My dad's 90.
Wow. And he still makes you food.
Yeah, he still
That's
makes me
awesome.
food. I want to do a thing with Pat and him cooking, teaching Pat different things, and
Like
we're gonna
cooking show.
a cooking show. We're
That's
gonna videotape.
cool.
It's gonna be like all my favorite meals, Greek meals, and he's gonna teach Pat to do it. I haven't told my dad about it yet, but he'll do it.
He'll do it and then yell at you because you made him do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Patrick, the family member that makes you the craziest.
For a long time, my sister, just because
Older, younger? Older
by
sister?
a year.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And
No particular reason.
Just when you were younger or just your whole life, just the things you like, oh, no. Don't.
We're just like, it's weird. You would never guess, and he would agree to this. Like, we would never guess we were raised in the same household because we're just like polar opposites.
So
as
different.
People, yeah.
And is she, so what way is she most different than you? Is she
She's responsible. She lives a good life.
So
she did the whole go to school, get a
she's
job.
driving you crazy because she's responsible? I wonder how it looks coming back the other way.
Oh, yeah. It's probably worse. No, that's not what bothers me. I don't know. I think we get along now, like as recently.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was the one that always just
if I had to pick one.
My best friend growing up had an older sister, and I'd go over there just to watch the fights.
Yeah.
I mean, they were fights. They were at each other all the time. And she would, and when we were younger, we were like, 10, 12 years old or whatever. When she'd finally had enough of yelling and screaming at him, and they would even pull hair and stuff, then she'd kick him between the legs and she'd walk away.
Wow.
And he just ended up swollen a lot. Anyway, so I can imagine those kind that they're close together. Right? It's just the two of you.
Yeah. Just the two
Okay,
of us.
so yeah.
But yeah, it was especially when we were teenagers. That's when like the explosive
Yeah, absolutely.
fights happen.
All those hormones all bottled up inside too. Yes, absolutely. Charlotte, family member that you have that drives you the craziest.
Well, not anymore, but for years, my mom.
Your mom?
Yeah, oh yeah, because we were, they were like, you have to get a 9-to-5 job, one that pays you your paycheck every 2 weeks. What is this psychic stuff? And, traveling and, touring and what the hell are you doing? And,
Didn't seem grounded at all to her,
No,
right?
she thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
And for a while, I also got totally disowned from my family. And then they were like, why are you getting nominated for Woman of the Year? Why?
What's going on?
Is the mayor calling? Why is the prime minister? What is going on here?
When you're in a battle, let's say you're in an argument or disagreement with somebody, does it come in handy being able to sort of read? You could sort of.
I don't go psychic on people's ass because that's not cool.
No, but except you could still sense their weaknesses.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I also know my own too, right? So this way, and what I do is I use it as a reflection, so I heal it within myself. Okay. So if there's some issue, then I know it's a reflection of something I'm not dealing with, so I take it on and I deal with it. But a lot of people they don't know how to deal with stuff like that because it's a psychological thing, right? So
why aren't we taught that? Why don't they teach us how to deal with our emotions more?
Well, do they teach us to cook in school or to learn how to do, that's the stuff we need. Finances, taxes, not all the crap they teach now.
Growing vegetables.
Yeah, make your own garden. Yeah. That's the stuff we need to...
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff instead of, I could tell you some history facts that really aren't going to help me move forward in the future.
No, but you know what? History is something we need to have because then we're doomed to repeat it. So
I think a base knowledge of it. I don't think I need to know all the actual numbers. The War of 1812 didn't actually happen. It went on till 1817. I don't think I need to know that.
Yeah, I mean, why? Yeah.
Why did they call it the War of 1812? I'm sorry. I'm asking on behalf of Manolis.
Because he wanted to know.
Patrick, we have just enough time to spin the wheel one more time. This is Patrick Coppolino's turn. This is Friday at 4:20. Patrick Coppolino, Manolis Santanos, Mike Neighbors, and Charlotte Szivak, our special guest in the studio. CharlotteSivak.com if you'd like to get in touch with her post-show. What do you got there, buddy?
9.
Number nine on the. All right, we got 5 minutes. We got to crank through this. Here we go. We got Friday. Get everybody into the weekend. You know what? Sorry about that.
Just pull whatever you get.
Unfortunately, it was just okay. Your best excuse for being late. You're late. Your best excuse. What do you give?
Well, I have a kid now, so that helps a lot.
Oh, nice. No kidding. Eh?
Yeah. My kid.
Yeah. And she had trouble. She was vomiting this morning.
Nobody wants to challenge you on it because they feel like a jerk. Yeah.
Nothing. That is awesome. Kids are awesome for that. I'm glad you explored that. Manolis, who doesn't know any of his children.
What
do you do?
I could have a child. I don't know.
Well, that's it.
There's one girl. It doesn't matter. She's in Australia, so I don't know.
I'm sorry I was late, but the child that I might have was...
I use Patrick's daughter as an excuse. My buddy's daughter's throwing up on herself, and I'm sorry.
Well, you gotta go help him.
What do you say? You show up late? Or are you an early person?
Are you on time? I like to be early, but I had a job where I just hated the job. I didn't want to go to work, and I saw a guy on the street in front of a bus, so I took it as I used to be a lifeguard. Actually, so
Lord.
Yeah, so I was on my way to work at Pinky Lewis Rec Center. I pulled over to help the situation because I really just thought it was going to be a great excuse to be late.
Right.
It was like, why are you late? Well, this guy got hit by a bus, so I helped.
Yeah.
But then I went to help, and I realized I was like, hey, did you call anybody? The other guy, and the other guy was like, the guy that got hit by the bus was homeless, but the guy that was calling was also homeless, but he didn't have he was talking on a phone that didn't work. Yeah. So there was he's like, I'm calling help right now, buddy. I'm like, help's not coming at all. So then I saw a cop at the lights where the intersection was, and I ran up to the cop, and it's like, homeless guy hit by bus. Homeless guy calling. No phone's not working. We need an ambulance. Can you help us? And he goes like this. I'm on it. And he goes, and he just takes off and goes around the block, and I go to work.
That was it.
And I still wasn't late.
Damn, all that work for nothing.
I know. I still was on time.
Well, then you got to save it for another time.
Yeah. If only you'd had your green cape on, you could have helped yourself.
Right?
That's it.
With the hot pink tights.
We've come full circle, though, really, right from the beginning with Manolis and saying he would stop and help. He feels compelled to help people.
That's cool.
Charlotte, I forget what the question was.
What was my greatest excuse or my best?
Your best excuse for being late. Are you traditionally on time, or are you always
shockingly, I'm usually on time.
Okay.
Or before, but when I am, it's either Mercury's retrograde or I was in another dimension.
Okay, I'm sorry. That beats both of your excuses.
So funny.
Oh, damn it. I'm so sorry I'm late. Mercury's in retrograde. And by the way, they send love from the other dimension.
Yeah.
Charlotte, it's been a blast having you on the show.
It's been great.
Thank you so much for dropping in and helping Manolis come to grips with just who he really is.
Do I look better?
You know what? You seem
more lighter.
He's
You have a little light in your step.
Yeah, I think that you can go. It's not me. It's me. I don't have a choice. It's the universe that's done this to me.
I've gotten okay with the fact that no one loves me. So,
and on that note,
don't even get
we'll
me
all
started
just
on
agree
that.
and leave. Manolo Santanos, Patrick Capolino, check them out when they're playing locally, and charlottesivak.com is the website to go to for Charlotte services. Thank you again, Charlotte. Everybody, have an awesome day. Thank you so much for dropping in on Friday at 4:20. You can go to funny820.com to hear previous episodes of the show, and until we meet again in 7 days, have an awesome weekend.